Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, we saw Shane again in Season 9, Episode 5. It was a hallucination of Rick. Rick was having a hallucination of kind of a reference to the very first episode of the show, where Rick and Shane are sitting together in a car, and they're like eating fries and hamburgers. And only in the hallucination, Shane is telling Rick about how he helped Rick be a better survivor, and he helped make Rick a tougher man, because that was Shane's big thing in season 2, was that Rick wasn't strong enough. Rick wasn't going to be strong enough to protect Lori and Carl. That's sort of what made Shane very angry and violent and determined to get back together with Lori and be a father figure to Carl. And why he kept wanting to kill Rick was because he didn't think Rick was strong enough. That's why Shane opened the barn and killed the walkers, because he thought that shit was just ridiculous and everyone was being weak and being hypocrites. And I mean, that ended up being kind of a good thing when Shane opened the barn, because I mean, they did need to deal with that. I mean, having a barn full of walkers, hell no. Plus, they found out what happened to Sophia, so that brought closure to Carol. And I think Shane was right in a lot of instances during season 2. Maybe even with killing Randall. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted about that. The problem with Shane was that he was just so violent and yelled a lot, and it kind of made him look bad, and it kind of scared everyone else. And even if Rick didn't like making the hard decisions, Rick was more reserved, and he didn't yell very often. So I think that's why the majority of the group always sided with Rick, even when Shane was right in some instances. So during this hallucination that Rick has with Shane, Shane's telling Rick that he takes full credit for turning Rick into a tougher survivor. And you gotta think, Rick was definitely more of a pacifist in season 1 and 2. In season 2, he did become more ruthless. I mean, killing Shane finally was kind of ruthless. And then when he went to find Herschel and he killed those 2 guys, I mean, that was when Rick was starting to become more of a survivor. And then in season 4, Rick was going back to being a good person and wanting to save everyone and being a farmer. And then when Herschel died, most people died, and the prison got destroyed, that really broke Rick down, and he became a lot more ruthless, and just he didn't care about killing people. He didn't care about doing whatever he had to do. He just had this very calm attitude about it. He always wanted to tie up loose ends, and if someone was a threat, just kill them instantly. Don't give anyone a second chance. Don't take any chances. And Rick continued to have that attitude for all of season 5 and all of season 6. And then when he took things too far and killed that outpost, and he had killed Glenn and Abraham, that's when Rick kind of broke down again, and he became a little less ruthless, just because his friends paid the price for his ruthlessness. But I mean, you could argue that Rick in season 5 and season 6, maybe he was right. I mean, it was definitely a badass Rick. The most badass Rick we've ever seen was him in season 5 and 6. He just had no problem killing, no problem tying up loose ends. So, season 2 Shane and season 5 Rick, they almost seem like similar characters. And maybe, Shane kept telling Rick to become this person, and Rick kind of ended up doing that. He ended up being that person. So, you could argue that Shane is responsible for the Rick we got in season 5 and season 6. I mean, you can kind of go back to season 2 and listen to some of the things that Shane says, and it's like, man, he's kind of right, So, did Shane make Rick a harder survivor? I mean, not at first, but it is interesting that during season 5 and 6, Rick sort of becomes like how Shane was in season 2. So for Shane to take credit for that kind of makes sense. But Rick did sort of, Rick went back and forth a lot. And during season 9, he was a pacifist again, pretty much. He only killed people when necessary. He locked Negan up to honor his memory. So the very violent, cold-blooded killing machine, big-ass beard Rick we had in season 5 and 6, that's kind of gone. I mean, I guess except for the big-ass beard, because Rick still has a big gray beard. But, Rick kind of just goes back and forth a lot. But as far as how he was during season 5 and 6, I do think that Shane is slightly responsible, and that what Shane says kind of foreshadows what Rick was eventually going to be in 5 and 6. So I think that's pretty interesting. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 177 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 200 in the next few weeks. So if you're interested, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button. It makes a big difference. We are just 23 away from 200. Just 23. We are almost there. We are almost at 200. So just hit that subscribe button. Share this channel with anyone, friends, family, Facebook, Twitter. Doesn't matter. Grandparents, great grandparents. Let's just continue to grow this community. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.